sir.
Me. Okay.
Yes. Look for Railroad Remodelers Club. What? What?
Nothing.
What?
That's great. That's good stuff. Just wait. You're gonna save this proposition.
You're talking about the Daily Cost article
You're gonna be
that just came out?
part of the team on the alternative energy one. You're in good shape.
What I just did for the resolution, I asked Alan Drake, who's a consulting engineer, who's actually working on the spill. Alan Drake. So, consulting engineer, New Orleans resident, Katrina survivor, very well-known activist, who can draw in, both he and I, but him much more so than me, he's more active, we can draw in the oil drum, which is the best open source energy tracking site in the country. You talk to people in government, they talk about CERA, Cambridge Energy Research Associates, and the oil drum is a close second in the quality of work, and it's all done. It's just people that are interested in it and want to get policy. So I contribute there, Alan contributes there. He's going to help us. On the policy front, there's a guy I know who's the headquarters staff of a big defense contractor, but he writes a lot about energy stuff and he knows about getting legislation passed. I sent it to him. If he doesn't have time to touch it, he'll pass it on. And there are a couple other people who are, you wouldn't know their names, they're not well recognized, but they're kind of connector watchers and processes. They know who to go to get answers. And I think that at least 2 of the 5 or 6 I sent it to are going to turn out and will help us do whatever editing. A couple of them are attorneys, and they don't work on legislation, but they'll work the flow of this, and they'll be able to point out things that need attention. So, it looks like it's a good basis. I mean, it's got all the important points, a lot of the bibliography. I saw a couple facts that were
Not accurate?
but this is not accurate from the perspective of someone who interviewed people who were actually out working on this film in terms of what was being done.
That's good. But, so Pam has not sent it out yet, which is good, because, probably should, I don't know how many of those folks can, like, this weekend on it, because we really wanted to get this out, like, as soon as possible, of course, but you want to be accurate. Well, certainly.
We get it cleaned, and we'll be able to get this published on the oil drum, and that will get the oil industry's attention.
Great. Did you send them the information for the talk?
Well, here's a random question for everyone. How would you like to work with the Tea Party?
Which Tea Party?
East Central Illinois.
Which Tea Party? Because when I say Tea Party, there is a group that's coupling up to Michael Steele. I've been on their calls where they're trying to get interface with the RNC. There's the Tea Party Express, which...
We're not talking about any type of national movement. We're talking about the local group.
But just to make it clear, there's the RNC-oriented group. There's a set of Republican consultants who have managed to pass themselves off as grassroots activists who are this Tea Party Express thing, which the CNN was giving mouth-to-mouth to that concept here not too long ago. And then the actual, there's libertarian-minded folk who have, legitimate gripes against the government. And then there's a collection of Stormfront, the Klan, and other undesirables. So I would say that the irritated libertarian types are, yes, and the others are, in 2 cases party operatives, and in another case, law enforcement problem that needs attention.
I'd say these people are more a case of irritated libertarians. This is actually something Annabelle wants to talk to me about. One thing that we can't agree on: campaign finance reform. It's one of their
Citizens United. There are so many people out there that are looking for an engine to express their wrath.
Yeah, I mean, she likes the idea.
They hold a mock convention at our convention, is that right?
I have a question. I want to interrupt. There was actually a video. First time I saw it was last night on Facebook. That was, I guess it was the irritated libertarians that put this out. I don't know. There was a video. Apparently it was on YouTube, but it was reposted onto Facebook, talking about how or not Rand Paul, but
Ron
his
Paul.
father, Ron Paul,
Ron Paul.
was the actual leader of the Tea Party, not Sarah Palin, and you know they did this and we did that, and have you seen this video? It's
No.
very interesting. You should
It's on
look
my
it up.
Facebook page.
I should forward it to you.
This
I should
kind
send it
of
to you.
Information.
But I'm just curious if you had seen it or heard about like a rift in the leadership or that.
Within the libertarian-minded
Yeah.
Ron Paul.
Well, according to them, they have no leadership.
The blogger, the journalist who broke the story of the connection between Rand Paul, Ron Paul, and neo-Nazi Stormfront organization is one of our associates. It's a guy that lives in Boulder, and he writes under the name Ministry of Truth on Daily Kos.
Okay.
And he brought out that story, and there's more to it. So there's a really extremely unsavory white supremacist connection there that is...
I mean, I don't like the piece anyway, but that's. I shouldn't say that. I
characterize myself as a libertarian-minded Western Democrat. I mean, I was a GOP voter, a low-information GOP voter, until just maybe 6 years ago. And when I saw the mess the Bush administration made, and I saw how sloppily they were prosecuting the war in Iraq, and just all the bad policy decisions, and the blogosphere came along, and I was no longer captive to what was on the television or in the paper, and I could actually talk to people. And then my views began to change a little bit, and but I'm still, that's become the valid source of information. If you want fact-checked information, you go to the progressive side of the blogosphere. You get opinion, but you don't get people passing off opinion as fact. And you can't seem to find that on the right. There's so much dependence on boldly told lies oft repeated. And the television and radio media supports that. And I'm very much interested in fact rather than that kind of
so
stuff.
what have you heard about? I mean, about a rift? Is there a rift? Is there not? What is? Who is the actual? Who is the actual? Coffee Party? Who's the Tea Party? Who's running it?
I think it has multiple inputs, and I think absolutely it's clear to see that there are members of the leadership talking to the RNC, and they're excited about that. There are people that are consultants that have managed to slip in and are doing who knows what, and that's been brought out into the public, and particularly with their convention and the $550 cost, and they had it in a similar area to ours, where our convention is going to cost $200 and has better services. So someone had a profit motive there, big time. And then I think there are a lot of independent-minded voters who have been drawn to it. But yes, a rift. I don't know that it was consolidated in the first place. I think it's a media event. I think the media kind of breathed life into it, and now they're having kind of an oh shit moment because it's gone off on its own and it's not doing what they want it to do anymore.
I like Billy's idea of talking to the people.
Yeah.
Because some of their goals are the same. Their methods are entirely different than the Coffee Party.
I would be happy to talk to the Tea Party about election reform, about campaign finance reform. I don't think that anyone would stand up and say that any American citizen's vote should not be counted. Because the minute you say that, what if it's your vote?
Well, yeah, but but the people who say that don't think about that aspect. They think about it's always those people, and they have certain groups that they direct that toward. Always anyone who has a felony. Oh no, they should never be able to vote, or the Democrats shouldn't vote. There's a number of groups that are targeted that people don't like the fact that they have an influence on the political system.
I think the big picture is we're not a Hispanic nation yet, But, you know, given another, what, 36 months? I mean, that demographic